and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Jess and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the books that I got for my birthday. My birthday is towards the end of May and I got given a couple of different vouchers which naturally I decided to use on books, so let's just jump straight in. The first book I'm going to talk about is one that I'm very excited to own, and that is The Falcon of Sparta by Con Eagleton. I am a huge Con Eagleton fan. I think he is a fantastic and underrated historical fiction author, and I am so looking forward to jumping into this new series. So this book, I'm going to butcher these names because I don't know how to say them, but I'm going to read them anyway. Okay, so 401 BC, under the banner of Cyrus, brother of the Persian king Artaxerxes, 10,000 Spartans march into the empire's heart to claim the throne. But a battle can be won or lost with a single blow. As the dust settles, the Spartans are leaderless, stranded in enemy territory without food, water or friends. Their choice is stark: surrender or die, until one untested soldier proposes the impossible. So the thing that I love about Con Eagleton is that he takes real historical figures, he takes real historical events and he puts a fictional twist on them, so you're getting a little bit of history along with your story. I love the series that he wrote on Caesar, I love the series that he wrote about Genghis Khan, and yeah, I just think that this is going to be so good and I'm very excited to have it. I'm just sad that the rest of the books aren't out, so I can't binge read them, but I guess you can't have everything, can you? Keeping in with the historical fiction vein, I also picked up Lancelot by Giles Christian. I have never read anything by Giles Christian, although James has read a number of his other series and said that he has enjoyed them and would recommend them. So I love a good Arthurian based story, so when I spotted this one I decided to pick it up. It says on the front, warrior, friend, lover, legend. So this is basically the story of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, told entirely from the perspective of Lancelot. And yeah, I read the back. As I said, I really enjoy anything connected with Arthur, or the legend of Arthur, so I'm looking forward to this. I think it might have perhaps a little magical realism element thrown in there as well, but yeah, just another one that I'm looking forward to. I have to say that bar one, all of the rest of the books, oh no, bar two, all of the rest of the books are historical fiction, so that's the first two. This one I'm about to tell you, and then a few more are all kind of historical fiction-y. That was obviously what I was craving when I was adding things to my basket. So the next one I'm going to talk about, historical fiction, and that is Cersei by Madeline Miller. This is a very popular book at the moment in the book community. I have never read any form of mythological retelling at all, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. As I said, it's doing the rounds in the book community and people seem to be really loving it. So this is the story of Cersei, who I think is the daughter of Helios. It says on the back, in the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. Cersei is strange, not powerful and terrible like her father, nor gorgeous and mercenary like her mother, but she has a dark power of her own, witchcraft. So she's basically, because she doesn't fit in, she is cast out and grows up on an island and kind of hones her witchcraft, and then I think the mortal Odysseus comes and Cersei falls in love with him, and the story kind of unfolds from there. But as I said, I'm not familiar with mythology or mythological retellings in any shape or form, so I'm really interested to see what I think about this. It might not be for me at all, or I might love it completely. We shall see. Next up we have another offering from Con Eagleton, but this time it's Con Eagleton with a twist because he is venturing into the world of fantasy. So I picked up his first book in his new fantasy series. So this is Darien, Empire of Salt, and he goes by C.F. Eagleton apparently when he's writing fantasy books. So this says, the city of Darien lies at the heart of a dying empire. 12 families spoil for a throne soon to be made vacant by murder or civil war. Into this fevered, hungry city come 6 strangers, an orphan and an old swordsman, a hunter and a pitiless killer, a young thief and a cynical chancer. As the sun sinks, the city will know no slumber, for long dormant passions have awoken. Fortunes will be won and lost, lives will be staked and claimed, and a story long waiting to be told will catch fire in the telling. I just think that this sounds so good, and as I said, I love Con Eagleton's historical fiction writing, so I'm absolutely fascinated to see how his storytelling abilities will translate into an entirely new genre. And I'm pretty sure that James has listened to the first and second book in this series on audiobook, but I can't really remember what he thought about them. Probably enjoyed them because, you know, fantasy and people vying for thrones and family drama and all that kind of stuff just really ticks our boxes. So yeah, I'm just very excited to try this and see what I think. Next up we have Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is a sequel to Nevermore, which I read last year and absolutely loved. It is middle grade fantasy. It basically focuses on the story of Morrigan Crow, who grows up her whole life believing that she's cursed and believing that she will die before her 11th or 12th birthday. I cannot remember now which one it is, but on the eve of that birthday she is swept away into the magical land of Nevermore, and in the first book she has to complete a series of trials in order to be allowed to stay in Nevermore and join this magical society. And this book kind of picks up where that one leaves off as Morrigan faces a whole new set of challenges, and these books are just so lovely. They are whimsical, they are magical. Morrigan is just a really good and lovable character. I like the diversity of the characters within these books and within these magical worlds, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how the story continues. And Meg read this recently. She got it out of the library and she said that she loved it and she was desperate to know what happened next. So that kind of feels like high praise, doesn't it? So I had to get myself a copy, and yeah, I'm sure that I will read it soon. Next up we have The Familiars by Stacey Halls, and this is historical fiction with an element of fantasy thrown in. So it's set in 1612, around the time of the Pendle witch trials, and we're following two women. We have a 17-year-old girl called Fleetwood, who is the mistress of an estate, and she has tried and failed several times to have a baby and produce an heir for her husband, and she stumbles across a letter from a doctor which basically says that if she gets pregnant again it's likely to kill her. And then we have a young midwife who I think is called Alice, who kind of comes into Fleetwood's life, and somehow out of that Fleetwood becomes pregnant, but within all of that is this hint of witchcraft. And I guess with the Pendle witch trials being at the same time, we're kind of led to believe that maybe something not quite right has occurred, because why would Fleetwood allow herself to become pregnant if she knows that it's going to kill her? What has this midwife got to do with it? How do the two women's lives and stories kind of intertwine? I'm not sure, but that's kind of the basic premise. And yeah, what can I say? The cover is gorgeous. It was blurred by Jessie Burton, who wrote The Miniaturist, and yeah, I just think that sounds very interesting. And the final book I'm going to talk about today is still technically historical fiction, but it's a little bit different, and it's not something that I would normally read, but it has been everywhere in the book community recently and everybody seems to love it, so I decided that I would pick it up, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is set in the 70s and it's about a band called Daisy Jones and the Six, and it just says on the inside flap, for a while Daisy Jones and the Six were everywhere. Their albums were on every turntable, they sold out arenas from coast to coast, their sound defined an era, and then on 12th July 1979 they split. Nobody ever knew why, until now. Making music is never just about the music, and sometimes it can be hard to tell where the sound stops and the feelings begin. Everyone was there, everyone remembers it differently. Yeah, this is a particular period in history that I wouldn't normally read about. I don't think I've ever really read anything about musical bands in the 60s or 70s, but I thought I would give it a go. As I said, lots of people talking about it, there's lots of buzz at the moment in the book community about this one, so I thought that I would pick it up, give it a go, see what I think, and yeah, I'm sure that I will let you all know in due course. So there you go, they're the books that I picked up for my birthday. Do let me know if you've read any of them or if you have any of them on your TBR. I always love to know. Please don't forget to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.